originally this was introduced as an emergency. So for a municipality, well, a statutory municipality, which South Russell is, if you want to declare an emergency for an ordinance, you need 5 of the 6 council members for a village to vote yes. So my understanding was there's 2 council members opposed,
Correct.
and I believe they didn't. You also need 3 readings, and you need 5 council members to waive readings. So they had a meeting. 4 of the council members voted to waive the readings. 2 voted no.
And they declared an emergency.
No.
They can't do it.
Well, it was as an emergency originally, but when they didn't waive readings, it had to go to a 3rd reading. They then held a special meeting 2 days later and did the 3rd reading. One of the no votes was absent, the other voted no, so they passed with 4. So Danielle did call me, and I told her, I said, listen, you're gonna have to ask your solicitor on your end. I said, but from the budget commission's point of view, or at least my point of view, and I wanted to discuss this, the 2 of you, I said, as long as you pass it and the 30 days, it'll take effect before January 1st. I felt comfortable with us adopting it.
Okay, so I know. Emergency scratched out.
That means it doesn't take effect immediately. So unlike all these resolutions, when the township trustees vote for a resolution,
it's effective the moment they.
Yeah, with the village, they need 5 people to have an emergency measure, because technically.
Who prepared this document? First, their solicitor.
Yes, I mean they asked for our form. So if you see, unlike Newberry, Burton and South Russell used our form,
right?
Which and I always share it whenever we do stuff like this. I always share it with the solicitors, because I figure I'm saving taxpayer dollars, right? I'm going to save the people of Burton Village, $150 by preparing it. So they used our form with the emergency clause. I just don't know where your comfort level is. The only thing with an emergency clause, when
you rescind it within that 30 days.
No, it's subject to, I'm not worried about it being rescinded. It's subject to a referendum petition. So there's a statutory procedure with municipalities where, technically, if you got a bunch of signatures on a petition, the taxpayers can. I mean, I highly doubt they're going to wage a battle to.
Well, one of the councilmen said 95% of the people that he surveyed said they were not worried about their taxes, which he's one that voted no. One of the ones that voted no, which I find, mathematically, I don't agree with it. I just, because if that's the case, the calls I'm getting, the predominant number of calls I'm getting and letters are from South Russell.
Yeah, I would tell you on my street, for example, our property values went up over
40%. And I just got a letter that Pam and I reviewed, and he's from South Russell. That's they're getting the highest percentage increase. So either somebody's tone deaf or they're only surveying people that they know the answer to.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've had a lot of people approach, because I'm president of my HOA, like I need that headache. So the people in the neighborhood have been pinging me about this, not because I'm the prosecutor, but because I'm the president.
They're complaining about their values.
Yeah, to the president of the HOA, which I can do nothing. So I've told them, hey, there's things you can do, blah blah blah, and but I don't know about this 95% thing. I know I've had a lot of people approach me, especially the people on fixed income. We have a fair amount of retired people in my neighborhood, and they're
even if you're not on fixed income, it's an increase in your costs. I mean, I think we would be remiss in not accepting that nobody wants to go to the gas pump and pay twice as much. I mean, why would this be any different?
So I guess the only danger in us accepting this is it technically doesn't take effect for 30 days. My position was it takes effect before January 1st. I think we could do it now. I think if they hadn't passed it before the end of November, we might have had a different problem. So I would have been.
The tax liability is January 1st.
Yeah, I would have been more concerned.
We're good.
Yeah.
So it's your turn, I believe, Jim.
Is it mine? Go ahead, you did.
Oh, did
and I seconded.
Okay.
We discussed. So,
okay.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, despite, let's just remove from the equation unencumbered cash balance, 20-0 floor. I think credit needs to go to West G for being a pioneer and taking a huge risk with peer pressure, what it is with the school systems. They are voluntarily suppressing $1 million of their emergency levy, which I for the taxpayers of that district, I appreciate their doing.
And they unanimously passed it too.
Yes.
That is
Remarkable.
it is. It really is.
Only
So-
because of Auditor Walter's efforts.
No, I think I met with two of their school board members, and
Had you not, this would not have happened.
maybe, but I think they were open to it, which is the first. You can't force feed an elephant, right? I mean, you can't push a rope, all those things. They were willing to consider their options, and they took advantage of that, which.
You did 95% of this. The education component, I think, was huge. I mean,
Well, I think we're going to get going, because you can never educate enough on this issue, because it's complicated. And people are going to rightfully be upset when they see this floor shift, and they're going to get hit with this additional tax. They're going to be upset.
Yeah.
And although we can point to meetings we've had where we've introduced it and we've talked about it, I'm prepared for that, and that comes with the territory, and it is what it is. But I
think educating to the elected officials. I mean, I don't think
don't think some of the school board members understood it.
I'm always surprised. I mean, again, school funding, I don't completely understand. I learned a lot through this process about school funding because it's so complicated. And I think that's part of the problem, is that it's not as straightforward as what we're normally dealing with. But I'm not sure, and I'm not being specific, but to this board, but I just don't think a lot of school board members have as good a grip on their financing as we do, which is, and I don't think we have the best grip on it either. No. So, I don't know that they're even at our level of understanding. And so I give them, I think that education component by you, I think you opened people's eyes, and I think it was important, important that you did that. So
So I'm glad. I hope the West G people who do experience an increase in the floor are at least consider the fact that they didn't have to give $1 million back, and they did. I just leave it at that, and I think it speaks volumes for they are at least considering some of the message that taxpayers are learning.
Mhm. Okay, make a move to approve. Okay. Yes. That's it.
And thank you guys for cranking these out. I know I've bugged you about every third day for an update.
Yep.
You